I've just, on last Friday, actually pretty much finished the work on the Achievement Diary interface rework. I did put a tweet out, I imagine a lot of you have seen it already, to show little progress bars under each diary. Just so you got a better visualization of the progress you've made towards completing all the tasks. So that's one key thing. I also worked on, a few months ago, I started work on an in-game adventurer's log. So I got some of the core script for that. And that's the core feature where you'll be able to look at like the previous 20 events you've done on your account, like, oh, you killed this boss, you received this drop, you completed this quest, you gained this level, that sort of thing. And you'd see like the last 20 on your account with a date and time. Something like that. So I've been working on some of that stuff. What are you doing?
Apparently your mic's turned off, so it's picking up other mine. So
just adjust your mic.
Wait, I should put my leg down. That's like a really awkward.
Why didn't you just move?
Well, I could have done that.
Oh my god.
You could just move your mic as well.
Hang on. We're going to get to the end of this story, but Kieran, move the mic to the other side of your shirt because that's where you're talking.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just jump in fill the void for a minute. So I've had to jump off my project for a little bit, but what I have been working on in tap time for quite a while now is a new quest, which will be a sequel to Miscellaneous Mystery. Have quite a bit of larger scale to it, traversing the world, and some difficult choices with permanent effects that will potentially happen.
What? That's terrifying. Where's that?
Well, so for those of you who played the Halloween event, which I hope most of you did, there was a part where if you were not quick enough, you could let Jarvis die. And that was done. If he dies, that's it. He's permanently dead. There's a nice little gravestone in Lumbridge if he died, in the Lumbridge graveyard. And that was kind of testing the water a little bit for... Okay, so he's just this guy you've only just met, but he dies if you're not good enough.
Yeah.
So what happens if we start introducing perhaps characters that have been into the game a little longer, and your actions will directly impact? And I'm not talking like, obviously it's a free-to-play quest. I'm not talking massive really influential characters and other storylines or anything, but.
See you later, Steve.
But definitely well-known characters.
You're killing the wise old man?
No, I could never kill the wise old man.
It's very much the horror.
I don't think Ash will let you.
Then. Yeah, it's another sort of horror killer quest line, drawing inspirations again from lots of different horror films. But there will be, assuming it passes and I eventually finish it, there will be consequences to, let's say, iconic RuneScape characters.
Ooh. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll try to finish that. So the Adventures log is there. I might also follow up on what mod John C. was started work on, because I don't believe he's currently developing on it. But that's the drop logger. So it would count up all the rare drops in the game, like your Bander's Chestplate, Abyssal Whip, that sort of thing, and you'd be able to see a count of how many of each of them you've obtained. So you'd be able to tick them all off, say you've had one of all the boss drops, that sort of thing. And the other thing is hard mode Inferno that I might start looking at soon. Ooh. And that's exciting. I mean...
How many Jads?
You'll lose count. But obviously Wooks has beaten the Inferno now on his pure, so...
Is that what we're waiting for?
We need the next challenge, right? It's about time. Clearly it's too easy now.
He's in the chat. Oh no. Speaking of Wooks, actually, we're going to get him in the office to help with one of my tap projects, which is, old tap projects, which is now a real project, which was Raids 2. So we're going to invite some of the best PVMers in the game into the office and say, here's what we've made. We think it's pretty difficult. Come make it more difficult. And then the rest of the community is going to go, damn, this is too difficult, essentially. Anything else?
I've been working on a Arceus spellbook rework, which I've shown to the team, and I've not really gone back to it for a few weeks now, but that's probably what I'll be working on.
I liked a lot of the ideas you had in that, so be interesting to see what
I think there's a few contentious spells on there, but we need to sort of see what the players want, really. But yeah, I might talk about that more on Twitter in the coming weeks or months. At some point.
Are you doing anything in chat?
Raids 2 was, and now that's an actual project, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was kind of like just carrying on investigating things that we can do with skilling and talking to the skilling communities, but it's still nothing concrete or finalised on that, just more discussion level. So.
Yep. Right. Moving on. Is there one in the chat actually? Hold on. Knives says status on not releasing chin chompers in wilderness.
I know it's something that we've said we potentially like to do.
I would very much like to do that.
So, I mean, I don't know whether it'll pass a poll, but it might be something we could look into addressing with the integrity stuff at some point.
I think this is what I was thinking of earlier. I think we did this in Deadman.
Yeah, it's in Deadman.
And it is well received, so perhaps there's some data or reception that we can look at there. But
yeah, I mean, I don't think it would pass a poll, and judging by the chat, I'm not sure it will, but I do think it's something that should be addressed.
Right. Something we can look at. Anyways. Cow says, please can you move the box trap that you laid has collapsed to the chat filter?
Yes.
It's easy enough, yeah,
Easy.
sure.
It says, make a Christmas event revolving around the stray dog in Varrock.
This suggestion keeps coming up.
Reward is that he gets rehomed by you.
Isn't there more than one stray dog in Varrock?
Probably.
So you're just choosing one of them and the rest of them are just like still
I thought
stuck
there was
out
just
there?
one.
Let's set up a rescue centre.
I think there's a few around.
Oh.
Maybe one time, but this year the Christmas event's being developed by Maz,
Yeah.
designed by Ash, going down a different route.
Right. Some other time, maybe. Zam says, can we please get a boss kill time for Grotesque Guardians that Zulrah has? It would start running whenever you hit the bell.
Why not?
Yeah.
Can do, yeah.
Rule says, can we add battle staves to the Zaya staff shop?
I don't know. I'd have to. I think we'd need to look into that one in a bit more detail to consider whether it's the right thing to do.
Potentially lock it behind favour.
Perhaps.
Mm,
So there's not
Interesting
so
idea.
you can't just make an account and go buy it out.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's easy to implement, but is it right to implement? So the hard job is just making sure that it is.
Well, a lot of no's in the chat now. I don't know what you said, but you upset them.
Probably favour.
I don't know.
Okay, favour's not the hardest one to get.
I tell you what, actually, since the new
Solve
quest with the increased favour and everything,
Yeah.
I never got favour before, and I had to do it over the weekend to get my quest cape back. And the favour that I had to get, I also went and did some Hell Shazin or Shazen, however it's pronounced. That was like pretty fast, so I'm not complaining. Like 100% Hesidious was just so easy. I pretty much bought it, so it took me like 3 minutes, but still. The rest of them just started like to breeze by. I remember the first time that I did it to get on my hardcore Iron Man, by the way, to be able to steal from the fruit stalls. The initial doing the field up and down was so draining, but then I did it again on the other account, and it was just really fast. So,
Right. How's that hardcore Iron Man coming along?
I haven't played it for a very long time, but I just got my membership renewed on it. It's an okay account, actually. I've got like 125 quest points, mid-combat kind of stats, decent bank.
Can't die if you don't play.
Sorry.
Well, you see, yeah.
Well, there's a movement on the chat. We're going to cut you off.
You're the one that carried it on.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. There's lots of mobile questions in the chat, so for the sake of it, we're just going to say, yes, of course, nothing has changed with mobile. They're still working extremely hard on that. We don't have an update for you, unfortunately.
I believe there is a plan to release something.
Yes. Soon. TM.
That's specific.
No, I mean, as in that it's being worked on
It
to release some information.
that might be this week, I think.
Oh, that's brave.
Potentially. I said I think.
This week.
I said I
Wow.
think. Yes, think. So don't hold me to that, but potentially this week. If Mod Sween's still about, he'll know for exact.
I know I get to have it on my phone soon.
Yes, as in information,
Yeah.
not the release. So
It's being worked, John. It's
I can
coming
hear
out
someone.
soon.
I can hear someone running down the stairs like.
no, a information post will be out soon, potentially by the end of this week.
Ooh, all right. I'm potentially excited for that. God says, can we have the ability to regain teleports on the Hunter Cape after catching a certain amount of Chinchompas? He suggests 200. This would benefit people that hunt and cannot be abused by PKers.
What was the first bit again?
Regain it.
So if you're hunting chinchompas, you can use your teleport on your hunter cape to, well, you can reuse it, sorry, after catching a certain amount of chinchompas.
Oh, right.
So 200 is his.
So I can see why. So
Yeah.
the PK, not the PK, the hunter who's doing black chinchompas in the wilderness, many times a day will have to teleport from a PK, potentially, or die and need to get back. And they'll easily use their 5 teleports a day or whatever the current limit is. So obviously the reason it's mainly limited is so that PKs can't get that free access to the wilderness. So I think it's a reasonable thing.
How
I
long
don't
does it
think
take
it's
to
a...
get 200.
Not sure, but
Speaking
we could
for
pick a
PKers,
reasonable
I'd
number.
like to see that a little bit higher, I guess. I don't know.
I'm thinking about a new potential reward from Revenant Capes here.
You're clinging on to anything like that.
No, I do like the idea. I think it just we need looking into for the numbers. Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah.
200 sounds potentially maybe slightly low. For,
Okay. Where have we gone to here? I think I was at this one from Jim. He says, is there a possibility of a hunter plus slayer crossover where you have to hunt a beast across an area or even across the world and then slay it with combat? Ever since hunting's original release, I've thought that there is a great opportunity to tie up the combat of the skill.
I had a design like that about a year ago, but I abandoned it.
Oh.
Oh,
any particular reason?
It's his idea now.
It's because it was in like the northern area, and we'd just done winter todd, so I figured doing like a wintry type monster that you have to...
For the question marks, it's hunter meets slayer. So you hunt a beast across the world, and then when you finally catch him with your hunting skills, you slay him with your slaying skills.
Essentially, I think what I had planned was like a sort of like temple trekking where you move between randomized areas, and then you have to use like fire making, woodcutting, fishing to like survive. And then when you get to the end, well, obviously hunter as well to track it, and then at the end you kill it.
That's an amazing idea.
Like a yeti of some description. But yeah, and yeah, maybe I should carry it on.
You should. Well, I mean, it's your idea or it's his. So which
Well.
one's better, really?
Well, if he brings up like a in-depth design doc,
Okay.
give it a read.
I want to see a designer versus designer here.
Yeah.
Community versus JMod.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
I like the idea regardless. I'm seeing a lot of PogChamps, so looks good. Neil says, we've been talking about the wilderness and PvP for a while now. However, there has been persistent problems with PvP which haven't been addressed to this day still. He has a few issues. This is going to take a long time for me to get through. I'm going to try to skim through these quickly. Unsculling is an issue. So essentially his proposition here is to say that if you're an unskulled PKer, unless you have an emblem in your inventory, you wouldn't be able to then receive one as a drop. So if you're an unskulled PKer, you're risking basically nothing. You always say you're risking something, but you're never actually risking something. You don't have an emblem in your inventory. You instead rely on the chance of getting one as a drop. However, this would instead say you'd need to have an emblem in your inventory. That way you at least have like 100k risk, and your reward would be that it would still get upgraded. But if you died, the PK would get something. Long story short, it's a good idea, in my opinion. Oh, geez, where have I gone to? Special attack and teleport tabs. Here he's talking about when you're fighting somebody, say we're in a fight, I run out of food, as a last second desperation attack, I AGS spec you, and before you can hit me back, because it's my PID, I can click teleport and you won't be able to kill me. So I will essentially be able to get a last hit, and there's nothing you can do about it. So his idea is to slow down or delay teleporting after attacking your opponent, only after attacking your opponent. Which again, I don't know, that one...
It's interesting idea.
Yeah. It's like the greatest feeling in the world, getting that kill, being out of food. You're like, ha, it worked. So I don't know how the community would react to that. Not very good, apparently. All right, good.
Ooh, some yeses. I guess
Unsculling, sorry?
I guess people saying yes to the people that have died. Who died
Yeah.
Those people.
Yeah, but everybody gets to do this, so. Unsculling via Clan Wars, or via, whatever you say. Essentially, if you run into the wilderness, attack, say I attack Maraiza, I get a skull, and then I teleport to Clan Wars, run into the portal, and then I teleport back. I won't get a skull when we fight. Again, just more unsculling, less risk in general.
It sounds more like a bug, really, than...
Yeah, but it's been there forever, so he would like to see it get fixed. These
that's
aren't
one of
my
the things
ideas, I swear.
that came out actually as part of all this PvP work that we've been doing. A lot of people have said that that's one of like the issues that should be looked at as well, and a lot of other people think that it's a bug, and if it's something that could be
Is
fixed,
that more
it
of
would
an
be
issue
great.
because the portal is now, well, the portal's been around for a while, but obviously back in 2007 it was more difficult to reset your skull.
I think it's just people wanting to bring multiple really valuable items with low risk, and it's becoming more and more accepted.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times where people will use it as an opportunity to rag as well, because they'll still have full gear but no risks, and that's pretty sad to see sometimes. So,
bounty hunter challenges. Here he talks about what I pitched at RuneFest. Yes, it is still something that we'd like to do. If you're unfamiliar, essentially we're looking at doing a bounty hunter rework. This is something I'm going to get into potentially a bit more detail later in this Q&A, but it had almost Slayer Master for PvP. So you went and spoke to the bounty hunter emblem guy, and he would look at your account and he would assign you a task. He would go, okay, you have this stat or these stats. I see you can use full barrows. Go get a kill with a full barrow set equipped. If you kill your next target with that, you would get a bonus reward. Or he could say, go kill your next target with Dragon Dagger or what have you. But yeah. Anyways, moving on past the bounty hunter stuff. Tacit says, can you please lower the weight of the runner hat to -2 kg and the runner boots to -3.5 kg? They both have runner in their name, yet neither are used for running. That's not like RuneScape. They would be great defensive gear alternatives for when Wrathrune runecrafting gets released with Dragonslayer 2. Essentially, he's not looking to replace the Boots of Lightness or Graceful. Instead, he's adding something that is still good, but has a bit of a defensive value as well for when you're getting attacked.
He picked such specific values for the negative way. But there's no problem doing that. I have no issue with it.
Yeah. Or maybe they could come from Rev Caves.
he said it.
Will they have? But that leaves items with runner in the name.
Boy. Barry says, could you look into the XP rates for the now nerfed thieving method made possible with the new teleport book? It seemed quite a fun and engaging way to train thieving if XP rates were fixed for lower levels. I spoke to Mod Ed about this. He said, we removed it because it was an unpolled change to thieving, but we'd be happy to add a similar method if it was pulled and the XP was properly balanced.
That's cool.
Right.
Like that.
This next one has an image, actually. I think it's the only image of the stream. If we can throw that up, please. Over says, can you guys change these labels? There you go.
See that.
Essentially, there's it's a little inconsistent.
I believe it says like it's extra strength, anti-poison, something or other, and the item's just actually called Antidote Plus and Antidote Plus Plus.
So we should probably extra strong anti-poison potion.
You have really good eyes.
And then it says super strong anti-poison potion. And they should just be Antidote Plus and Antidote Plus Plus.
Yeah, for me that's basically just a bug. Really.
You can read that?
It should have the item name in the list, and that's an easy change.
Wow. Well, I'm blown away. Cater says, can we extend the weekly Q&As from 1 hour to 1.5 hours?
0.5.
Well,
I don't mind them being a bit longer. When I watched last week, I really enjoyed last week's Q&A. It was nice that it ran over a little bit and everyone had a chance to say what they wanted to.
the only way this would be possible
Starting half an hour early
is if we started a half an hour early. This is a little tricky, I think. Like the Q&As we've done every week, like religiously, I've been doing it for like 4 years now. And believe me, we have asked every question you could ever think could be a question. And I would worry about stressing, dragging them out and perhaps sacrificing a little bit of quality. Also, the guys who watch them back on YouTube, adding an extra half an hour for those guys, I don't know if that's something that they'd be willing to invest.
I mean,
I don't know.
Just get Matt on and he can fill half an hour with his stories, so we'll be fine.
I think if these turned into, and they slowly have turned into a bit more of a podcasty style Q&A, rather than just a question, then I think we could get away with that. But then again, we're taking devs, QA, everybody, again, another half an hour away from their work for the day. So
if it's just that they want more time to engage with us, then myself and Sween are looking at bringing back community streams and having a set schedule for those. So we'll have many opportunities to interact with you guys more going forward.
All of the 24-hour dev Q&A marathon.
Right. Vorsia says, this might be a controversial suggestion, but I'd like the team to look into reworking the Heroes quest. I'm not saying the game's dying, but there's certainly not enough players in that level bracket at any given time to complete Heroes quest without either waiting a long time, getting lucky, or paying one of the potential scammers. There you go.
So,
Sorry, he has a proposition actually. He says his suggestion is to rework it in such a way that you no longer need a player to help you. Instead, essentially, we had NPCs that can give you the stuff to do this stuff.
so I recently did
NPCs
a
replace
quest
players.
with my friend, and I was thinking there should be more quests where you have friends that help you out. So maybe not. If he doesn't like it that way. But yeah, I understand.
You just made an enemy.
It's quite hard to get. Like, yeah, finding someone to do it with.
It is
quite
difficult.
hard.
Again, going back to the hardcore Iron Man story, I had to use my other account to do the quest because I couldn't find anyone that didn't want to charge a ridiculous amount. So I was just like,
Yeah,
okay, whatever, I'll just get another account.
This-
and-
It's
This
a
is a-
mechanic that I don't think we'd ever replicate due to a lot of these reasons, but I feel it's like one of those things that's so nostalgic to old school that
Yeah.
This is a
Removing
great
it is
straw
a
poll opportunity,
really
actually,
interesting one.
if we could, please.
Yeah.
So for the Heroes quest, you essentially need to find somebody else who's also doing the quest, and then complete the quest with him or use him for a part.
Or just convince a friend to start playing again.
Hey,
Heroes is particularly bad because of the fact it depends on the other person you meet being in the right gang from the first one.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a bit more of a nuisance.
so I suppose the question's going to say vote yes if you'd like to keep it that way.
I
And
was going to do rework Heroes Quest and not require a player.
okay, never mind. Vote yes if you'd rather replace the other player interaction with an NPC,
You think
make the quest a bit more convenient and easy. Vote no if you would prefer to keep it the way it is right now.
Do you think if we gave them the option, if they've not done Heroes Quest and they've done the Shield of Rav, that they can change their gang?
I think that might be a reasonable solution, to be
I
honest.
think, didn't they do that in RS3?
RS3 have made them both single player.
Yeah.
That'd be cool if you could do both sides of it. on your
Yeah, I
own.
believe that's what you do in
Okay.
RS3.
Yeah, like
you do
Right.
both sides.
Did you
of the
giggle
quest.
at doo
No, I didn't.
I also realised it wasn't Heroes Quest that I did in
Wow.
the Shield of Arav, but same situation. So just
Very
easier to
split.
do.
So about 52% say yes, you would prefer to see it change so that you can use an NPC instead of having to wait to find a player that's also completing the quest. And now the chat's saying doo-doo. There you go. All right. Next question. Scott Wilson says, could the underwater agility shot be looked at? One of the reasons swimming is very dead is because it's so lackluster. He has ideas. The fossil bag, same as coal and gem bag, really it just stores a lot of fossils. Creative. A better version of the Merfolk Trident. 10 charges is not many at all. Possibly give one that gives more oxygen per pufferfish.
Yeah, it's not bad.
What do you think, Mambaz?
Yeah.
Both the ideas?
The bag, we've already got the crates,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
It wouldn't really
yeah.
be too useful.
I like the stuff, the Trident idea.
Trident. Mambaz likes the trident. There
Send
you
me
go.
ideas
Send more ideas, she says.
at JagXMaz.
Speaking of which, at JagXMaz for the plug, there you go. Speaking of which, at RuneScape, if you have a question in the chat, we're going to grab some from the chat right now. Anything standing out, guys?
Oh, it's moving.
All right, I'm just going to start asking them then.
Yeah.
Piggy says, add sound when Ectofile is filled back up.
Easy to do.
All right. Bob Marley says, if minus XP lamps don't pass,
Don't worry.
don't think they're going to pass, are they? Are they passing?
They're hovering between 70 and 71%. So likely.
Not
no.
likely. If they don't pass, will there be another way for 2 defense pures to revert back to 1 defense?
Unlikely.
Maybe in the future, maybe not. Who
mean-
knows? I mean,
We don't know, I guess is the answer.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I would say unlikely. Honorable says, can we change the reanimate dragon spell so it uses the dragon head when you click on it?
Potentially. I think I'm not sure what the code for that is like.
What to do right now? I don't know.
You have to like click and then use and then
Oh, change all the spells to do that then, not just the dragon one.
yeah.
Well, in my redesign of the spellbook, I sort of put all the head spells into 3 tiers. That could make it slightly easier because then you wouldn't have to look
Yeah.
for it as well.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
when are we announcing your rework?
Oh,
Or when were you
I was going
planning
to
on?
finish the design, then show it to everyone, then show the players.
Okay.
But I just never showed the players. So.
So I
I
remember
should do
going
that
through the
part.
meeting and seeing it, and you had
Yeah.
some really cool ideas in there that I was
Yeah,
like
I sort
super
of
excited to see what
forgot
people
about
say. We need to get that sorted.
I'll try and I'll make a graphic.
Okay.
Fix his mic. Whose mic?
Mine?
Kira's mic still.
Mine.
Kieran's mic.
Ah, dang it, Kieran. Sword says, any plans on a way to ensure multiple pets
How do you mean?
at once? What?
Like, what, as in, I don't really understand the question. Well, you already can insure all your different pets.
Well, that's that question. Lied says Castle Wars tournament. I just tweeted or retweeted. I think I tweeted a video somebody made of a top 10 or maybe 5 plays in competitive Castle Wars. It was really entertaining. Go to my Twitter.
It was really good, wasn't it?
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
It was really entertaining. As far as the tournament goes for Castle Wars, I don't know. I feel like, oh, dude, this is such a long discussion. Yes, we'll consider it.
Yeah.
I'll have to go more in depth on that. But I don't want to take the whole stream's time, really. Anyways, we're going to go back to the questions from earlier. So let's go into this one here. Heisenberg says, can the heron pet be added to the fishing spots in Lumber's Swamp Cave and Dorgish Con South Dungeon?
I imagine probably just have to work out the rate.
Who asked the question?
Heisenberg.
Oh,
He's the underground Iron Man.
Oh,
only
oh.
now,
Yeah.
right?
Seems like he always asks questions to a cave.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just a matter of working out the what the rate needs to be, but that shouldn't be too difficult.
Well, the
Right.
point of the Iron Man was to like limit yourself, not limit yourself, then keep asking for suggestions to change.
Yeah.
Lord Gozer says, what are your plans if the loot key question fails again? Will you pull it for Bounty Hunter / PvP worlds only? Will you let it come from the Bounty Hunter shop instead, or will you scrap the idea entirely? He says, especially in Bounty Hunter and PvP worlds, loot keys would be one of the best quality of life updates for the average PKer. Goes into plenty of explanation, we already know. But yeah.
Yeah. I think it's with everything that's came to light with the PvP poll or the wilderness rejuvenation poll, is finding out where we need to go to make, like, what direction we need to take this in so that it can be accepted by the community as a whole. So until we've figured out that and came up with a solution, there's no point trying to put it into a different piece of content, because there's a wider issue at hand, and that's something that we want to solve first. Are we going to throw away the idea? I'd hope not, but I mean, if we have to, then we have to. There's obviously the potential of Bounty Hunter rework that we might be able to fit new rewards or altered rewards into, if we're in a position at that time where we know the best way to tackle these going forward. And
Without a doubt.
but yeah, until then, we'll just have to see.
I could see it being so much better for specifically being Bounty Hunter or PvP rather than just the wilderness as a whole. Next question, here we are. Azor says, could you pull hunter experience for killing chompy birds? You have talked about it a lot, but never pulled it. In my eyes, chompy bird hunting is what hunter should be, but yet it doesn't give experience. You can scale the XP as you guys suggested. Some people suggested to actually give hunter experience when claiming the hats.
Would we have to retrofit hunter experience into everything that could be deemed as hunter then?
Certain things fit the theming
Or
more.
like luring, like in the defender role in Barbarian Assault, sort of luring it into a trap that could be seen as hunter.
Is this just because a lot of people do the chompy bird hunting for diaries and don't really get much of a reward out of it other than the diary perk, and
I
they're just...
find it enjoyable, judging from conversations I've seen.
I mean, I'm not against it, I'm just trying to find out the reason as to why.
After you've spent 40 hours hunting chompies, is the pride and accomplishment for getting that little hat not enough?
And a chance at a pet.
Should it give hunter experience? What do you guys think?
Would that make the chompy pet a hunter pet as well?
Oh.
Interesting. Well, you can't replace the chompy pet.
You'd have to
No,
make
obviously.
it not give a chance at the other hunter
Yeah.
pet.
Long live Ponglinus.
This might be a better one for a more in-depth conversation than a quick yes or no, to be honest. Grabbing some more from the chat then. D-Town says community streams. What do you mean? What are you planning to do with community streams?
Yeah, so we've got one community stream planned for the coming weeks that's based around Dragon Slayer, Dragon Slayer 2. So I think I don't want to say what we're going to do just yet because we haven't confirmed it, but we're going to try and do something cool between myself and Swing, a little challenge between the two of us that we get you guys involved in. And then the others are just kind of like, we want to do some more boss killing streams. We really wanted to do a gargoyle boss killing stream and then at that point announce the pet drop rate. But unfortunately, Kieran got Lord and released it live on Millionaire Monday. So
it's one in 3,000.
Hang on, who got farther in Millionaire Monday out of you two?
This is an unfair debate, and I'd like you to all show.
Yeah, so Kieran, how does it feel to be beaten by Mod Iuza on a RuneScape?
You don't even know the theme song.
No, my mind went blank. So
I got the answer right for how much XP do you get in attack for Vampire Slayer?
That's true. You did.
That's
you had
impressive.
some really hard questions. So
hang on. Did you guys see the Millionaire Monday that he was on?
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, question for you then. What was the question you went out on? What is the quest below?
Oh yeah.
What is the skill icon in the skills tab below?
Herblore.
Was it below Herblore?
Mm-hmm.
No pressure.
Wait, he got 4 options.
You're not getting far up.
Yeah, you get no options.
Herblore.
Below Herblore. Don't look at the chat.
Okay, is that Slayer?
No.
It is below Herblore. She's not directly below.
Oh, it's not far off.
It's right at the bottom.
Yeah, but the problem is, this is a knockout quiz. You lost already. You're out.
Okay.
According to Kieran, it's crafting.
I'm gonna ask Mod West and Mod Tom H if they want to grab any more questions from the chat while we send Mod Iuza over to prep for previewing tomorrow's updates.
What have we got in there? Do you have an expected release date or month for Rage 2? Next year?
I think we said. Did we say?
We said summer.
Okay, summer.
Yeah.
Summer is the aim.
Summer is the month.
I mean, as much as we announced it at RuneFest, it's not a project we've actively started developing at this
We
point
haven't had
yet.
time to. If we did, we'd have to drop everything else and things would be delayed.
Imagine it'll probably be... Inferno was our summer update this year, so probably around the same sort of time next year would be the aim.
Hopefully. Depends. Yeah. It's going to be absolutely massive. Goes without saying.
Yeah.
Anything else? Where is Mod Ash? Where is Mod Ash?
He's upstairs.
Oh.
There's a question, when's the Nibbler Pet transmog option coming? I know Ghost has been working on it, but he's been working on different projects since then, so... But yeah, I think it was a bit more complicated than we previously thought. But, yeah. It's still in the works.
Any update on the Deadman tickets? This is a good question. I think we've now announced that the next Deadman tournament will be held at the ESL. I believe it's called One. Is their studio there in Leicester?
Well, if it wasn't announced, it is now.
Well, there you go. So we're looking around, I've already said this date. I don't know if it's 100% been confirmed, but we're looking at December the 9th. So we should have tickets. I believe we were aiming to have the tickets on sale this week. If not this week, I imagine early next week.
It's going to be soon.
Pay attention to our Twitter, our website. We'll be posting the tickets, and you can come watch Deadman live.
And
it's amazing.
Yeah, it should be awesome this time, especially with some of the changes that we're making are incredible. I've been looking at a load of stuff, testing it at the minute, and I am seriously excited to see what happens.
On that front, we are planning to do the beta on the 23rd of November. So anyone will get a chance to have their own personal go at that final hour. Or the final, it's going to be a little longer than an hour now, but yeah, so this is your chance to play it, firstly, if you're not interested in Deadman, but we want to do that so that we can get the feedback in place. We can ensure that it's going to work well for when we do the actual finale event. And hopefully this can be the best one yet. I'm excited by it. I've just finished doing a load of work on it. So,
are you good to do your preview? Oh, you need your notepad, okay.
But yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how it goes. That
final period, I don't know what we're calling it now because it's going to be over an hour.
It's the Deadman finale.
Just
Winter
the Deadman finale. It should be a hell of a lot more exciting because of the stuff we're adding in that will be happening. There'll be stuff happening in the lead up towards the final knockout tournament. There'll be, like I said, supply crates that will be dropping that people will be fighting over with some pretty incredible rewards that will really, really help you when it gets down to those final fights.
Yeah, we've explained it. I don't think we've left any secrets really out of the finale. So for those curious, of course, we take the top 2,000 ranked players in the Deadman season, we send them an invite, we say, here you go. What we're doing differently this time around is we have 2 different final areas. So you're going to be assigned a final area. It's going to tell you where to go. This is going to separate a lot of clans and teams, obviously cut them in half essentially. And then from there, we'll take the top 128 players, the last 128 players alive, and we put them on this massive 1v1 grand finale island thing. It's so spectacular. You're not going to believe
I've
what
just
this
seen it
thing looks
working
like.
with. I've just seen it working today and spawned in a load of accounts and watched them go through it. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I've just finally got that up and working properly now.
But basically, tons and tons of 1v1s with inventories being restocked, and then eventually leading to a grand finale. It's gonna be. Yeah, I can't hype it up enough.
Yeah, the arena that Rise made is so good.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to seeing that.
You can take part in that if you want with the beta, November 23rd.
Beta.
Right. Just waiting for a wave from Madaiza, but for the time being, we're going through more questions.
What about that one by NL Warrior 15?
Does Kieran realise it's winter?
Yeah, why are you wearing shorts? What?
Excuse me, it's November. December is when winter starts. Thank you.
Oh,
But
yeah, to be fair.
I asked Alexa this morning, and she said it was 10 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in freedom units, but 10 degrees is
That's
10
like
degrees
60?
is my line, right? If we go below 10, I start wearing a hoodie and
Yeah, but
not shorts.
Shorts should be like
If it's
18
10, it's like
degrees.
summer. 10 summer.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a low bar for summer.
Yeah.
Guess you can't be
To be fair, I'm not outside. To be fair, if I was out all day, I probably wouldn't.
There's no to be fair about that.
I got in a car, got to the office, came inside the office, and worked inside all day. Then I'm going to get in my car and go home. So, you know.
I'm going to take this opportunity to go through my big speech here. I'll try to make this very quick rather. So there was a post on Reddit, rather a few of them, saying, why are you forcing players into the wilderness so that PKers can kill people who can't fight back? And this was in reference to, obviously, Rev Caves. So I wrote up this very quick response with a few points, just kind of pointing out a few things. So, essentially, Rev Caves act as an ecosystem bringing PKers to chase Revenant farmers. That then invites other PKers, and those PKers chase those PKers, and so forth. There's actual risk. This isn't like an instant boss you can go to with no risk and get your stuff back if you die, and then get new best in slot items. Also, we're keen to sustain the health and the longevity of the wilderness. We want you guys to know that the wilderness is something that we value. Obviously, we want to see it thriving. We want to see it active. You guys want to see the wilderness active, hopefully. That goes without saying. While Rev Caves do act as a hotspot for PKers, they're not our kind of secret plan to revive the PvP. As mentioned at RuneFest, we have other plans to revive PvP, or update PvP, I should say, with a rejuvenation of its own, such as the Bounty Hunter update, PvP Arena, other quality of life updates. And then, of course, I understand there's some negative sentiment towards PKers, of course, as they chase their chin hunters and then people completing clue scrolls and what have you. Those guys are upset. Just realize, it is the wilderness. It's supposed to be dangerous. They have nowhere else to go at the moment. If you're a PKer and you go into the wilderness and you're trying to find somebody, sometimes it isn't so easy if you're not in Edgeville. So with Rev Caves, we're creating a hotspot where those PKers know they can always go there for action, whether they're trying to kill a PVMer, or they run into a team, or somebody else that's PKing solo or whatever. It's essentially going to always give them something to do. So there you go. That was my speech. That went quick, actually. How we doing, Madaiza? We're good. Thumbs up. All right. Take it away.
Cool. This is exciting. So tomorrow's update, there's going to be quite a few quality of life changes. I just want to show you the main ones that we're going to be bringing through. So first of all, we've got the buff to the Serp Helm that's going to be coming. And what that's going to mean is that when you use the Serp Helm with a poisoned weapon, such as a Tentacle Whip, DDS, or poisoned bolts and arrows, apart from the Emerald special attack, you have a 50% chance when hitting more than a 0 to apply venom to your target. And if you're using a weapon that applies venom, such as the Toxic Blowpipe or the Toxic Staff of the Dead, As long as you hit more than 0, it's a 100% chance to envenom the target. So if I go into here now, my favourite place to train, I like going here because it's multi and I can melee everything instead of using barrage. Joking, by the way. Not go into the wall twice in a row. Okay, so I'm going to try and attack one of these dark beasts just once. Hopefully get an XP drop. I'm not going to hit anything because the defense is so high on them, so we're going to be here for a while now. Sorry about this. Tell you what, I'll kill... I'm going to just go and kill 5 blood velts. There we go. So I've hit it once, I haven't hit it again. We're going to wait, and you should see the venom tick in a few seconds. We're waiting. There we go. See, so I only hit it once, 100% venom. So you can switch the blowpipe now to venom targets, and yeah. The other change, I'm going to get out of here so we don't keep... Actually, no, we'll keep it. We'll keep here. Is the Arim staff has been buffed to have 5% magic damage bonus, as well as being one-handed. So you can now wield it as well as an offhand. And it looks pretty awesome. It's the first time I've seen it today actually like equipped, other than as a screenshot. Looks quite cool. And then when you attack, it does the pretty standard staff animation. And it hits pretty high, so...
It's quite strong, yeah.
Yeah. There's seen like people have been talking about potentially buffing the attack speed because it is slow in comparison to the other staffs at the moment, or staves. I'm happy to take feedback on that one and see if it's something that we can do. The last thing that I was going to show you was the change to the shops in terms of what we can buy. So I'm going to go to my favourite shop now in the entire game, if I can find it. Where am I? There we go. Here we go. Here we go. We found it. We're fine. Don't worry. Straight here. I'm not very good with coordinates. Sorry. So we're going to go trade Aubrey and to buy some runes. You can now buy multiples of 50 at one time. So if you ever want to spam click, I'm not going to show you how good I am at clicking. You don't need to know that. I don't have any coins, but you can now buy 50. That applies to like arrow stores as well. So if you want to go and max out arrows, I think it'd be quite a cool thing for when you have like Deadman and other modes that you would like want to get to a store fast, get a load of items, or even new accounts. You can just start buying multiple amounts. The only thing that won't affect is King of the Skill. So this won't be live in King of the Skill, just so that it's not changing up the meta of starting strategies that have already been set in stone since the game mode is halfway through now. And that is everything that I have to show.
Hey. Remember when he was giving me crap about losing to a millionaire?
Yeah.
And he couldn't find Varrock.
Well, but I'm coming back now. I was actually looking.
Come defend yourself, come on.
Yeah, I was trying to get to Falador, but I was just like, I've zoomed out way too much now. These icons are completely.
You weren't even trying to go to Varrock.
I was going to go to
Falador.
I was going to go find.
Gave up.
I was going to Port Sarim. I was going to go and trade Betty, but.
Yeah.
Wait, so Aubrey isn't your favourite?
All right.
Is now.
Next question.
Everything worked. So.
Here we are. OSRS says, Grotesque Guardians changes. Allow the chest to take money directly from your bank to unlock if you die in return, so that you don't need the cash stack on you. Give a friendly idiot warning when you enter the boss instance without a granite hammer/throne hammer.
I like the first one.
You're going to kill gargoyles, a gargoyle boss, and you don't bring your rock hammer.
Yeah.
No, you're not getting a warning.
Nah,
Yeah,
hold up.
I like the first one about the bank.
You don't get
but
one for gargoyles.
Yeah, I don't like the hammer suggestion.
You're going to kill bandos. You're a noob. Years ago, of course, not recent. And you get your kill count, and you get ready, and you realize you forgot your hammer. Then you think, oh.
That still happens to people now.
One friendly developer just happened to put a hammer on an imp drop.
Yeah.
So you go and kill imps.
And then you realise you could have banked in the time you took to get
well,
one in.
That was a nice thing of that developer. I think, well, I don't know.
No.
Consider it.
No. Just no.
That is such a good story.
Like, there's got to be like
we could do the bank.
The bank thing's nice, but there's got to be like a level of stupidity that we stop catering for. Like,
did I say goblin? I meant imp.
You
I said
imp.
imp. Is it goblins instead?
But
You're lucky because we were considering making granite maul be required to smash them, let alone a rock hammer.
But yeah,
At
I mean,
one
like
point.
you've had to be killing gargoyles with a hammer to get access to this place. You've got to be a little bit special to go like, oh, I don't need this anymore. Just chuck it away and go fight another gargoyle.
Just teleport out.
I'm just going to get
accept
all the
it.
rage now. I know because I'm. But
Clueless
like,
mods. Dude, I was referencing something 10 years ago.
We've got me. I can't find Varrock, and you're hung on to imps instead of goblins. This
Oh,
is
they're
great.
roasting me now. Go back to roasting him. Okay. So we said no to that one. Fair enough. Ian says, can all the God Wars bosses hit points reset when somebody leaves the room? Currently, as an Iron Man, by the way, it is super frustrating to get kill count, go inside, let's say the Bando's room, only to find out someone's already done damage to the boss. Now I either have to kill it using half my supplies, or tally out getting kill count again.
Wasn't a similar thing polled and failed? Or was it just...
Something failed that was to, on a sign, like interact with the sign or pick option that tells you the
Oh, tell you.
HP of the monster.
So would we say, if nobody's been in this room for X amount of time, reset the boss's hit points?
Something like that.
yeah.
On the other hand, obviously, some people could complain and say, you know, they finished and did a kill and a half, and they wanted to bank and came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, there are plenty of mechanics elsewhere that require if you don't do anything for a certain amount of time, it resets. I think this is a fair place that it probably ought to do the same.
Okay. Yeah. Over says, oh boy, can normadium avlifrim?
What?
Can anybody guess what that is?
What?
Spell it.
Normadium avlifrim.
Where are we looking?
It's a Feldip Hills gnome pilot. He doesn't have a quick travel option. Can you have a quick travel option? All of the other pilots have one.
Yes,
Oh, he's the guy from One Small Favor, right?
Oh.
probably.
It's a
his name,
special. It's a special extra one.
You probably should.
Assume he's got ops free, and yes.
His only op is talk too.
And yes.
Yes.
Right. Sypha says, can we please reconsider opening the north side of the Grand Exchange to the wilderness to encourage low-level wildy PKing?
You mean
Multi-
encourage low levels getting loaded into the wilderness?
Pretty much.
Dude, this sounds so good. Especially, imagine free-to-play. Open up the north
To
wall.
be fair, they don't get the shortcut, do they?
No.
Free to play have been suffering all this time.
So, Varrock, Wildy, Multi, obviously used to be a massive hotspot. You go up to East Bank and run up. This would essentially kind of bring that back. But, you know, you're right next to the Grand Exchange, so...
How about we get rid of the shortcut and replace it with a gap? Like
No.
an intended gate.
Don't mind.
It seems a ridiculous shortcut, to be honest.
Okay.
Considering it's such a well-travelled route, it's such a low-level requirement. Is there any point?
Yeah.
Let's put a convenient window that you can open and go through the window.
They won't bring it back. Not much support for this one, surprisingly, actually. I don't know. I thought that'd be one that they'd like. Just
How
let me
about
down.
we just move the GE into the wilderness?
Oh, not this again. This died months ago. Please move on, Chris.
Do you know one part of the wilderness I would like to see revived? I
I'm
used to have so
moving
much
on.
fun. Was it the Hill Giants? Hill Giant PKing was so
remember
cool.
that. Good times.
Oh, here we are. This was another one I wanted to talk to before we run out of time. So we're going to be going to chat questions after this one. Keep them coming, guys, just at RuneScape. This was a popular suggestion. Or actually, two of them, sorry. First one was to slow down the death animation so we have more time to trash talk.
That's great.
Part of me really likes that.
What
Well,
part of you
that-
doesn't? It's a
it's
great
like-
idea.
Does
The
the extended
evilness
death animation
inside.
used for Halloween? That would.
Yeah. So there's, it's like Robert the Strong's death anim from a quest where he like goes down on his knees and then like kind of comes back up and you're like, "Ugh," and then dies.
But sometimes you have those really embarrassing deaths, and then just dragging it out even longer is like,
Yeah.
oh man, just end it.
And you have to unlock this death anim through a ticket that drops at revs.
Wow.
And then unique death taunt anims as well that you can unlock. So
Oh,
as
God.
people are dying.
That's not,
Great.
well,
something that was requested a long time ago back in the day by Mod Dean, the teabag emote.
You know how many times you die and you type something like really great to say to them, but you're dead before it even enters. Can we stropple this one, please, on Mass?
Right, yeah, so what, just in the will be?
People pulling in the raspberry emote have already perfected this. You got to get it in time. If you want to taunt, you got to do it right, and you got to be quick.
So
you don't deserve your taunt if it's slow.
We're going to drop a straw poll in the chat. Again, the question is, would you like the ability to extend your death animation so that it takes you longer to die, giving you more time to trash talk? Right. While we wait for that one, we have another suggestion. Actually, this one's a little bit more in depth, so we're going to get through the results of this straw poll first. Let's see what they're saying. There we have it. We can watch the results live.
Yeah.
And it's a shocking yes. 85% saying yes, 83%. 82, watching the votes climb.
Only it's positive taunting, though. We can't promote negative
Yes,
behaviour.
only if it's positive taunting, like, good job, you got me.
Yeah. Oh,
You were better than me.
Darn
what
it.
a shame.
dang nabbit, I'm dead. Well played, sir. Or lady.
I actually reworded this question. It wasn't originally trash talking. So. Okay, good to know, guys. Thanks.
Put it on the next poll.
I mean, yeah.
Sit, kid.
Just put noob, lol.
Last one.
No.
Last suggestion. If I kill somebody and he called me a noob, I would laugh even harder. Like,
EZ.
sorry, we're gonna get through this last suggestion. Valor Hall. There was a really, really pretty image with this one, but it was way too big to fit on the Q&A. So imagine something on the screen. Essentially, we're looking at player-owned house room-based PvP utilities. So this was quite popular, if you guys saw it. One of the updates, rather, was a mounted skull on your wall, which would give players a 20-minute skull without warning. Of course, you can already get this if you want to from the guy in Edgeville. Now we're just having it in your house. Decantation table allows you to decant potions into all doses. Of course, there's already this at the Grand Exchange, but he doesn't do all doses, not one, for example. Obelisk portal, one-way teleport to Obelisk, or pulling this. But the diaries to pick destination, I think, is new.
Yep.
And then mounted burning amulets and mounted combat scroll that would show your kill death ratio.
So I like this.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool idea. A nice PvP utility room that rewards you for getting your construction up. We've got basically that for PVM, essentially. So,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Sounds really cool, actually.
I
Any
mean,
of these
I think-
not possible? Can we decant potions into one doses?
We can.
Yeah.
It needs writing.
Okay, awesome. Good ideas. Last 2 minutes of the stream. Let's see what we can grab from the chat.
I liked the question that was in there earlier about the gnome ball pet. Where's it gone? Yeah, there we go.
Could we get a
10,000.
gnome ball pet that has a 1 in 10,000 drop rate when you score against at least 2 other players?
Prestige pet right there.
That's pretty hardcore.
Why?
And what I want is like a tiny little, like the gnome ball with a tiny little gnome running on top of it, following you around.
It's a no from Mod Sween.
On the topic of Petscape, hard mode Inferno, yeah. So I'm thinking the basic reward would be a trimmed version of the cape. It's not physically better. It would just look cooler, but you would be guaranteed the Inferno pet if you haven't got it.
Ooh.
From hard mode Inferno. I think that's a justified reward.
That's interesting.
I'm not sure. Oh,
To be
not
fair,
sure about
if you're good enough at
guaranteed.
Inferno to be able to beat hard mode, you've probably already got the pet.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to like have it like a massively higher rate, like
How about
1 in 10 rather than guaranteed.
It's
What
an
if
interesting
I
one.
like it, actually, yeah.
What if only 10% of Inferno players can actually do hard mode Inferno, though? We'd only be looking at 40.
You know what's bad is
Is it 40
you somehow
400 capes or something?
sorry, you somehow coded Inferno, and you couldn't do it. None of us could do the whole thing through and throughout. I believe Mod Jed could do the end bit.
I'm gonna one day
Right.
soon.
But you somehow made that to a perfect difficulty level, even though you didn't even complete it. How the heck are you going to make hard mode?
He's just multiplying
You
everything
just turn
by
every
2.
knob to 11.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got a bunch of ideas, many of which I would prefer not to discuss
Right.
in front of the audience.
Okay. You say you're going to complete Inferno. When's that?
When I finish maxing my combat first, and then I will.
Pick a date.
On stream.
Go on, pick a date.
I'll probably stream it, but yeah. I don't know, I haven't got a date yet. Depends how much time I get to play. But I'm maxing through Slayer and then I'm moving on to Inferno.
Yeah. Pick a date and then just an endless stream until you complete Inferno.
I'm going to do
That'd be
it.
interesting.
January 9th. Congratulations. Oh. All right.
Q1.
One last question from the chat you guys can pick.
Oh wait, there was something about the new prayer.
Oh, there's a question about Deadman asking who's going to be on stage.
Sure. We have MMORPG, we have Sick Nerd, we have Manked Up Mage, and we have Robert, all playing on stage at the next Deadman finale. Again, we're looking at December 9th down in Leicester, so if you're nearby, we'll have tickets on sale soon-ish. It's going to be a blast. It just sounds like I'm selling it. Buy tickets.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good event.
It's a really good event,
It's
actually.
going to be lots of fun.
There's not many people that have went, and pretty much everyone who's went has loved it.
Yeah, we got a lot of returners. Once you go the first time, you're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously,
You can meet the
we
team.
have a little bit of a mingle, a little bit of party afterwards when it's finished. So
Yeah, it's really good.
good
I went
fun.
like
There's
to
a bar.
3 of them before I joined Jagex as a player, and they were incredible. It was like the first one I didn't know what to expect, and then it was just like, wow, this is really
Yeah.
sick. And you
that's
get
basically my thought when we saw you come into the office. I was like, oh
Yeah.
god, it's that guy.
this idiot.
Yeah, we'll have all the details out when we put the tickets up anyway. So you'll be able to say exactly what you're getting for your money.
Stupid question of the week. What is this? Could you guys remove Varrock from the game? Oh, okay.
Big obstruction for my sawmill pure.
I don't know, Mona. He's like, can you find Varrock to delete it?
Well, that is a very good question.
Wow! Oh no!
Yeah, what I do is
Poor
you go,
Mada
you go to
user.
the spellbook tab, you look for the circle with V in it, you get 1 fire, 3 air, and 1 law, and I click it.
Oh,
And then
dude,
I
if
end
you
up
got
at the
that
Grand
wrong.
Exchange. Because I did my diaries.
Oh, brilliant.
So, yeah.
You're gonna have to get him back next stream.
It's fine, he lost trivia,
Tune in
so he
next
can't
week.
say anything.
Mada user gets Mod Kieran back. Apart from that, guys, well, thank you for watching. It's been an eventful Q&A, and we'll see you next week.
Right.